One of the common things when you start walking a different path and you start reading self-help books, philosophical books, new age books, whatever you want to call it, and you start taking giving a damn about what you put in your mouth, and you want to kind of grow up, be an adult, and walk your own path. And you'll get once you start walking the path, you'll get a lot of dogma about how evil certain things are, like the evils of television and how you shouldn't watch television, the evils of the fast food industry, the evils of the media, on and on and on. You get all these things, and while as many things there is grains of truth into what they say, but people, we tend to get, especially when we decide to go our own way and not be a conformist, we tend to then be equally as culpable as the people that we think we've left behind and that we condemn, because we become so black or white and saying, in judging things, and that this is evil, this is wrong, and if you want to be enlightened, you have to do this, this, and this, and it almost becomes like a recipe cookie cutter. You have to sell all your possessions, give to the poor, get rid of your television. Some of my best laughs and some of my greatest moments of where I just have a lot of fun is watching certain comedy shows, or some of my greatest learning experiences is watching certain programs. I love to work and have the television go on in the background, and according to many, if you want to call them awakened people or enlightened people, that's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. And it's almost, well, I asked my dad once if he was ever a hippie, and he said, no, I was never a hippie, because it just seemed like another form of conformity. And it's like we leave one group behind, the mainstream, the conformists, and then we join another group, which evolves equally in different form, but equally conforming. There's any group that I've gotten involved in is had this, and it's almost this. It's an epidemic with group mentality or group think. It has its own rules, regulations, ideologies, dogmas that you must adapt and conform to in order to be a part of that group, in order to be accepted. And I always thought it's a bit hypocritical, because we people that watch my videos or people that read books, they're seeking something a little different. And what I try to emphasize is what you seek is within you. Go there. That's where the gold, that's where the treasures lie. It doesn't lie in getting involved in a new group and a new kind of group think. And all that does is killing your individuality. There's still many things from the mainstream world that I enjoy, that I think is not, when done in moderation, that is not this big evil premise that others will make it out to be. And again, when you get involved in a group, most groups need enemies. That's, again, feeds the ego, unites the group, and creates the bond. The movie, I forgot the name of the movie, but it was about the 1980, was it 80 or 84, U.S. hockey team that beat the Russians. And the coach couldn't get the team to unite and to bond. And so he had a brilliant idea. He said, you know what, I'm going to become the villain. And he became the villain. And then that's what united the team in their disdain or hatred for the coach, because he became this bad guy. And you'll find that in politics. You find that in every type of group you get involved in. Generally, okay, I shouldn't say every, but most groups you get involved in, there is an enemy that is put to the forefront, or there is in kind of this subliminal enemy, and this feeling that we're superior and we're better, and more people need to think and be like us, and yada yada yada. So man, if anything, if you get anything from the videos I put forth, is follow your own, dance to your own drummer. Go within and really find out who you are. The problem is that we don't know who we are because we're so externally driven, and our identification is externally based. And so how can you know who you are when the approval or disapproval of others is the basis of your self-worth? And the countless years of indoctrination that we get, from a very young age, how can people really know who they are? One of my greatest awakenings was when I did my bike trip. I just had my bike, my tent, a cook stove, and I just biked all around the United States. And it was 2.5 months of church, if you want to call it, where I had very little contact with other people. I was constantly surrounded with just nature and beauty like I've never seen. Wildlife, animals, sunsets, rainbows, thunderstorms, snow, hail, you name it, I experienced it. And that's why I encourage especially younger people to go on an odyssey. It's an odyssey of awakening. I know this is common in some native cultures where you reach a certain age and you just go out into the bush and you just find out who you are. But what that allowed me to do was discover who I really was, absent of all the external factors. And I don't know if it's possible to do that any other way than to just kind of disengage, unplug for a certain period of time. When I came back from that journey, I was a completely, not completely, but I was a significantly different person. And it allowed me to, there was a great sense of loneliness. I mean, there would be times when I would have, go days and days or weeks without having, real conversations with people. Aside from the people that, when I go to the supermarket or whatnot. And I think we all could benefit from that. And then keeping it on keeping a maintenance routine where we allow ourselves to go there, daily spending 10 minutes and just, it doesn't have to be formal meditation, but just in silence. Or we spend one day a month where we just go to nature or spend the day at a park or by a stream or sit next to a tree or anything, just to reconnect with who we are. And it's really difficult to do unless you unplug yourself temporarily. Once you do that, once you start, to me, connecting with yourself is like rebuilding or reinforcing your foundation. Once you have a strong foundation, you know who you are, so you are so less affected by the external and by what goes on, and you're not the victim, and you don't blame people, you don't blame circumstances, you don't wonder why you're so miserable and unhappy, because when you practice silence or stillness, or when you have that strong foundation, it'll guide you, it'll lead you, it'll give you the courage to live the life you desire. It'll give you the courage to say the things you should say. It enables you to walk on solid foundation in all areas of your life. And I think the problem is we're so focused on exchanging the external and finding the right book or finding the right job or finding this, that, or that, this whole recipe that what we think will make us happy, that we are missing the real solution. The real solution is, man, reinforce your foundation. when we have problems in our lives, it's really never what we think it is. It's just a mirror pointing to our foundation is faulty, or our foundation is not solid, that uh, there's cracks within. And instead of healing or repairing those cracks, we choose to blame others. And someone emailed me, asked me, what is freedom? What is freedom? What does that mean? And why make these videos, and why, go on the path less traveled? And to me, it's freedom. It's freedom from being dependent on external people, situations, and things as the source of your happiness. It's freedom to remove the have-tos in your life. Oh, I have to go to work. Oh, I have to do this. I have to do that. And it's waking up every day and saying, you know what? I choose to. I choose to do that. And your energy changes and you come from a different place. And there's no quick fix. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and time spent in solitude. Man, but it's a great ride. It is fantastic. There's nothing better. There's no destination. There's no magical fix. And it's just a shift in perspective. Once that perspective shifts and you realize that there's no grand purpose in life. There's not all these goals and things that you have to be in order to be valued as a human being. It's just practice being. It's the simplest philosophy. And you don't sell a lot of books. You don't win a lot of converts because you don't need to. There's nothing people need to be externally dependent upon except going within, mining those treasures, finding out who you are, and just everyday practice being.